This is the dirt road leading into the property, about 1.5 miles. Reported to be well maintained year round. No problem with access. This is the road coming in to the property. And this is the property. Creek bed is just ahead. This flat area would potentially be used for parking. There are plenty of campsites down around the creek. Again, just off the road. Picnic tables, flat areas for parking. This is the main driveway down into the property. So from the main road, we would imagine this being fenced off with a big monument gate here, announcing the entrance to the camp. This little road that we came down would need some road work to make it appropriate for a bus. It's no problem for a car, especially my truck. It's nice and flat. Would be a good area for a parking lot. Plenty of space. Just the other side of the stream. Continuing past the parking lot, there's a little bit of a roadway leading beside the stream, where there's lots of spots for camping areas, potential places to put yurts. We're right on the stream here to the right. So we'll come over and show you that. And down below are some areas where the Boy Scouts have been doing a lot of camping. And that would be the stream. And we'll zoom in on the stream down there. Reported to have a lot of trout in it, some browns and some rainbows. In areas it can be widened. We can't ever interrupt the flow, but could easily be increased to make some nice little ponds where the fish can get quite a bit bigger. Continuing down that road, still with the stream on our right, plenty of places to put cabins, yurts, lots of places currently used for camping. Another fire pit or two. Plenty of places right off the road, easily accessible, but it's so quiet. And this is the property line right by the road on the extreme left. Down the river valley. Up and over that range is all part of this property. From the parking lot, I'm looking up into the property and now down at the stream. A lot of the places that you have to cross right now are things like that. Little log bridges. a sign that says what hatchet range the Boy Scouts have been using. So we'll walk down here. Eventually there would have to be a road, a bridge built across that stream to access the top of that range, which is where many years from now we may build a big great hall, mess hall, yurts possibly up there, cabins. Amazing views from the top of that range. We'll see them soon. Camp this way. Slightly maintained steps and areas to reach the stream and get across. We're down here at the stream level. She's not big. But she's got a lot of potential. Chamizal Creek. You can definitely see why they call this area where the Boy Scouts camp Elk Meadows Camp. Elk sign everywhere, especially in those meadows. Across the creek, heading to the hatchet range. Across the stream. Camping spots on the other side of the stream. And we're at the hatchet range. So from back at the parking area where I parked, across the stream, we're uphill from the hatchet range. Another big flat area with lots of potential. There is elk sign everywhere in this area. Again, just to orient ourselves from the parking lot, across the creek, up the hill. And this area is another cool feature of this property. It's not running right now because it's seasonal. They dam it off in the winter, and when things need to be irrigated, then they open it back up. There's an association, and they come down here and clear everything out, make sure the borders are all good and everything is flowing properly. And then they release the water, and it runs the entire length of the property. So in addition to the stream, we have this really cool acequia, which could be another really great part of camp education, getting involved in the acequia association, learning what it's about, how to maintain it, and being a part of that whole process. Seems really unique and a cool feature of a potential camp. So here's a road that I was able to find that crosses the stream and definitely goes into the big clearing that I'll show you in a minute. This is the way that vehicles have been accessing this property, it seems like, and might be where an actual bridge would need to go. So we're here at the top of that little road that went down to the creek. It continues the way I walked into the clearing. And so this is the pretty big clearing where eventually I could see at the lowest level there is some slope and would have to be some terracing happening. But here at the lowest level is where we could have a big outdoor awning, a potential kitchenette, the very first bathrooms. Somewhere far enough from the creek, we would have to drill a well eventually to make all that happen, to start getting plumbing into place. So this looks like the property line on that far right-hand side. Got some fence here. And if we follow this fence all the way up to the back of the property, we will eventually hit the National Forest boundary. Well, looky here. It looks like they've just opened up the acequia. It definitely wasn't running downstream earlier. But here it goes. And so this property has, I want to say 40 acre rights, water rights, to be able to use this land to irrigate. And we could put in a food plot that would bring in even more elk. Right now this property gets one elk tag a year, and putting in just a little bit of a food plot for them would get another elk tag easily. So there's the little road we came in on. Still not at the top of the property. So this looks like the top right, or since we have a southern exposure, the far east corner of the lot, right up at the top. So this way, this is National Forest on the right, Chamizal Creek property on the left. Just a few feet from that location, yes, I can actually see the Forest Service National Forest boundary sign right there. There you have it. Our backyard is National Forest. Which makes this property feel even bigger. So at the very top of the property, I think I'm still right along that National Forest boundary. I'm very close to it. I'm not sure if this little logging road is the boundary, or if it's on the forest side or the Chamizal Creek side. That little road that came all the way from that far top right corner comes all the way this way into this clearing. Definitely leads right here. So that would be the access road to get materials. So here's that big open clearing at the top. It seems like it'd be a perfect spot for that long-term, where the mess hall's gonna be, all along this ridge up here. Especially with it being raised in the air a little bit higher than where I'm standing right now. It's just gonna have 360-degree views. It's so quiet. This seems to be the far northwest corner of that property line. Let's see where the fence ends here. So I'm thinking National Forest on the left, Chamizal Creek on the right. Just following that fence line, I ran across another little road and what used to be a gate. It's kind of torn down, but the road continues into the neighboring property, it seems. Let me mark this point on a map too. So here's what it looks to be the property line. And this is where that side meets the acequia. But there's no water down here. So it seems odd. It seems like it would have had time to reach here by now. Just downstream from it across the property line. I wonder if it's escaping somewhere. All right, well, the water's just starting in this area. Starting to reach hill from upstream. Right up from that big old ponderosa we looked at earlier. Yep, that's that big old ponderosa. It's not the biggest. There are a lot of these and little canyons and things uphill. I realize this one's being nicely serviced by this little acequia. Starting to gather a little more water here. We'll follow it upstream a little bit more. So that's the acequia up there. Nice little tree where somebody's got a little climbing sitting platform. There's that big ponderosa in the background. And down here, pretty nice level spot. Seems like anywhere in this area, situated right in between the stream and the acequia, would be a good spot for a director's cabin. Here's back at the parking lot. Down here the stream is quite wide. Here's that area where the stream is really wide down there. Beyond that bend in this other direction. And then here is that other campsite I almost missed. It's a little run down, but all of these campsites could easily be places where we have overnight camping, outdoor camping for a while, but then eventually become a yurt or a cabin.